If you ask me what the message would be to the Hungarians now recently moved to England, I would say keep the Hungarian feelings inside them, teach the children Hungarian, teach them the history of Hungary, and never forget where you came from.
Nem hajlok semmi szélnek, magyarnak születtem, áruló sosem lettem, magyarnak születtem.
Right, nevem Szaka Éva, 72 éve vagyok Angliába. Magyarországról 1945-ben jöttem el a háború után, háború vége előtt, végeredményben. I came to England in 1948. I left Hungary in 1945. My father was a Hungarian colonel in the Hungarian army. And he advised us, because we were growing girls, to leave the country because the Russians were nearing the part of Hungary where we lived. My father did his fighting for years in Russia, at the Don, and to me he was a hero because he lived through a lot of the difficulties which faced the Hungarian army in Russia. When the fighting came near us, where we lived in Hungary, my father was fighting a few kilometers away from us. I was 18 at the time, and he was asking me what I would like for my birthday, because at Christmas 2 hours armistice was announced, and he could come and see us. He was only away about half an hour from us. I asked him to take me to the front because he was very concerned he could give me anything for my birthday, and he did. I went and saw some of the actions as well myself at that early age. My father arranged for us to come to England, or come to leave the country, because he was afraid for our well-being there, and he arranged a convoy to take us to Austria, and he went back fighting still in Hungary after the Russian fightings, which was taking for years. He went through the whole country, and finally he had to leave Hungary as well. While he was in Russia, a lot of the young officers that I used to be dancing with, and I had nice memories about them, died there. That is a very sad memory for me, because somebody I knew very well died as well there. I think my father was a great soldier. He never complained. He has been once injured as well, and they took him home to look after his injuries, but very soon after he asked himself to go back again. So I always think of him as my hero. One of my very precious memories is this cross, which has been in my father's bunkers in Russia, which one was built by his soldiers for him when they were stationed at one place. And I've got a picture of the bunker as well, and this is the cross that has been put on the wall in that bunker. My father then arranged our travel to Austria, and left us the address where to go at a certain time in 1945 in January. There was a big convoy taking out families from Hungary, and we ended up in north of Austria, north of the Danube first. We have been taken to different places, schools, pubs, anything that you can think of, because nowhere were we really accepted, because we were just a burden for the country then. After a while, the Russians have been given the north part of the Danube in Austria, and then we had to flee for the 7th time from the Russians. We have been placed in a big camp then, and later on the Americans have been had to leave the country, have to leave that part of the country as well, and we have been going down to southern part of Austria, where there was English arms, English military looking after the refugees. This camp has been with Hungarians on one side and Ukrainians and Polish on the other side. It was a huge camp, and in Austria, in the camps, life was very hard for us, because when we were in the camp, the British didn't give us anything to eat. They said, "Well, you have horses, eat the horses." Also, I have seen a lot of atrocities on both sides after the war, which I don't really like to talk about it, but it's always in my mind. It's a bad memory. When we came to England, we have been shepherded like sheep, more or less. They stopped us in, can't remember which town it was, I think it was Münster, and we had to sign a contract, which we didn't know what we signed, because they didn't let us read it, and nobody spoke much English. We had to sign, and we signed up for 5 years being working in cotton mills. Some people were very nice to us, very few. The workers next to us were envious, and they felt always that we took their jobs, and they kept us to sit down and don't work so hard. We wanted to work hard because we wanted to get on, we wanted some money in our pockets because we had nothing. And they didn't like this. They were always telling us not to work so hard. Some of the middle classes were interested in refugees, and we have been invited to their houses. And they were very kind and very interested, some of them, in our past. But I can't say that there was many of them. When the Hungarian Revolution started in 1956, quite a few Hungarians came over. We have been already here for a few years in England, and we went out to help the new Hungarians entering England. We have been helping to find them jobs, to find them accommodation, and help them in any other way to help them to establish an existence in England. Later on, the old Hungarian Mincenti Club came to Rochdale, and it has been christened Kossuth Hungarian Club, where quite a few of the 1956 Hungarian people became members, and we also bought a house which became our Hungarian club. And this is where I have been cultural secretary for a long while. And this was a very nice part of our life, because every Sunday we went to teach the children. I have been teaching the little ones, my husband, the over 15s, over 12s, I think. And there was every Sunday there was dance practice, singing practice. We were planning to do festivals, programs, and everybody worked very, very hard to keep the Hungarian club going, so we could gather there and have a little bit of Hungary, imagining a little bit of Hungary there and having a good time generally. I was already a member of the Hungarian community in the Kossuth Club when the news of the revolution in Romania reached us. And the first thing I did, I just stood up and made a speech ad hoc at the moment to prompt the people to start some collection for the Hungarians in Romania. We had a good result, and the young Hungarian priest who was with us at the time asked me to go to Romania and make some inquiries about what they would need and how we could help. And actually I organized a convoy of 22 vehicles, and we went in 1991 to take all the stuff that the donations that we managed to collect to Transylvania. We tried to give everything to the Hungarians, because we knew what would happen if it goes to, if it went to the wrong hands. And that resulted in a plan that we didn't know anything about at the moment, but in the next 13 years we went with my husband 17 times altogether to take aid and helped different people in different ways. Honvágy. Akármilyen régen járom a világot, álmaimban most is gyakran hazajárok. Zűrzavaros álom, felriadok közbe, álom és valóság keveredik össze. Átszáguld a lelkem az egész országon, a Dunántúlt, Erdélyt, az Alföldet látom, és ahogy átszelem az ismert vidéket, forgószél kavarja bennem az emléket. Iskolám padjai elkoptak már régen, ahová a nevem titokban bevéstem. De amíg itt élek, idegen ég alatt, örökös társam, a honvágy velem marad. Even after 72 years, it is hard to be living somewhere else and not at home.
Nem hajlok semmi szélnek, magyarnak születtem, áruló sosem lettem, magyarnak születtem.